James Studinger joins us here on the MegaCast. He is the founder for the Tour Da Yoop. Thank you so much, James, for being with us. You're insane.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I was online looking at the videos and looking at your story, and I'm just saying, like, you're just passionate about cycling.
Yeah, it's grown on me. We'll put it that way.
I love your story, though. Give us a little backdrop. How did you even come up with this?
So there's two things that really drove it. One, that 20-mile bike ride you mentioned, it may be, I don't know if that's part of We Bike Detroit.
Yes.
Or if that's a different group.
I love them. Yes, We Bike Detroit.
Okay, well, interesting. So Pat Irwin really leads that charge. His brother Aaron Irwin was talking with me years ago, asked me if I would guide him on a bike ride around the Upper Peninsula. And I kept telling Aaron, I've known Aaron for a long time. And I'm like, Aaron, that's a really long ways, man. That's a lot more than what you're asking for. And he kept pressing and kept pressing. And so finally I put together a bike route just kind of on paper just to show him it's, hey, this is going to be over 1,000 miles. And it's not like a 3 or 4 day event. It's going to take well over a week. And when I actually gave him the numbers, hey, it's over 1,000 miles, it's going to take, at least 10 days. He's like, yeah, you're right. That's more than I was thinking. And he backed away. Well, after I actually put it on paper, I thought, this is an unbelievable route. I got to do this now, Then I got really excited about it. And that's the positive thing. On the sad note, what was also happening at the same time is I do triathlons. I got a lot of friends who were biking all the time. I was getting friends some of my friends were getting hit by cars. Some people that I trained with had horrible accidents. One lady was paralyzed. I know none of my friends, but friends of friends had actually lost people. They have actually passed away from vehicle crashes. So biking down here was getting really dangerous.
Yeah.
And as a triathlete, we're just looking for safe places to bike all the time. So those two things came together, and I thought, why not go do this? Why not go do this incredible trip around the Upper Peninsula? And one, just put it on the map. And number two, showcase that, hey, Michigan has some of the most unbelievable, safe, quiet, pristine road biking that you just never knew existed. And by doing a huge ride like that, a 1,200-mile ride, I figure it would gain some attention, and it definitely did.
So since you started it, how many people have connected and actually completed? That's the other thing. Completed this journey.
Yeah, that's a good question. We had, I think, 11 or 12 people complete all 10 sections last year consecutively, which is a pretty big number because we didn't have a big ride last year. We kept it small for obvious reasons. But a lot of the people that came to ride it did the whole thing. And the oldest gentleman was 79 years old. We had two ladies complete all 10 in a row last year for the first time. We did have another lady had completed over a 2-year time span. So all told, I don't know for sure, but we probably have somewhere around 30 or so people that have completed all 10 sections now over the last few years.
So with that, because for people, maybe we're just not as eager as people such as yourself. Can you do it in stages, like not over 10 days?
Yes, you can. I mean, you can do it over 10 years if you'd like to. So we set it up a couple ways. One is number one, people are capable of doing more than they think they can do. I will tell you that for sure. When you get out there and you do a little bit of training to make sure that you're going to enjoy it physically, that you're not, it's not the first time on your bike for the year, but you do some training, you get out there and have a nice, beautiful ride, you can do more than you think you can do. So I'll just throw that out there. But there's also, you could do the whole 1,200 miles. We had 2 people do it last year, and it took them 3 months. And they were like camping riding. And they would go for maybe 20 or 30 miles, and then they'd stay at a hotel or they'd put up their tent, and then the next day they'd do 40 or 50 miles. And this red jersey I have on, the red plaid jersey, this is awarded to people that do all 10 days, no matter how many years it takes, but all 10 days doing each section, 1 day at a time. the journey, which is what these two people did last year, they get a green plaid jersey, and that signifies that you've done the entire 1,200. Actually, these people did like 1,400 miles by the time they were done, but that you've completed the entire perimeter route around the Upper Peninsula. So we've got a lot of different ways for people to engage in this, including just identifying loops, like the town of Lance. I spent hours with the town of Lance putting together some beautiful bike routes around their community, linking them to Houghton, linking them to Big Bay, linking them to different communities. So we've got literally thousands of miles of big routes, little routes, all kinds of, whatever kind of biker you are, we've got thousands of miles of routes for people to go explore and have a nice, safe time on their bike.
So James Studinger with us here on the MegaCast. So with that, when you're looking at it, how does it work in practical, like actuality? Like if I'm a biker, if I go with my husband, there has to be a car that follows, right? And then you get to the next stage.
Yeah, so I'll speak about the big event, the Tour Da Yoop Eh, which takes place in August. So that's the big main event where we pull people together.
That's for you crazy people that want to do it in 10 days.
Yeah. I was the first one, the first year, and to be honest, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. Had I known, maybe I would have thought I couldn't do it. So when in August, when we get started, we all ride together every day. So it starts off in the morning. I'll give everybody an idea for what they're going to see that day and what's in store, what they should expect. And then we all ride out, and different groups form based on, some people want to race it, some people want to have a casual ride, some people want a little bit of a challenge. So there's all kinds of different speeds that take place. And throughout the day, we have water spots and in food stations where if somebody has specific food in a bag, we'll have that there for them to replenish what's on their jersey or on their bike, and we'll have water for them. And then we have vehicles buzzing around, checking in on people, following the last rider. And we're also taking everybody's luggage from one town and bringing it to the next town. Oh. So if somebody's just doing a day or two, they still need their luggage,
yeah.
When they go from St. Ignace to Manistee. And so we're transporting all that luggage for everybody. And for the people that are doing many days, 4 or 5 or 6 days, or the whole 10, we're bringing that luggage all the way back to where they need it for when they finish.
So with this, are you surprised at the popularity that has come with this event?
In a way, when I did it the first year, I just threw a thing out on Facebook. I said, hey, I'm going to ride around the UP. Does anybody want to join me? So I didn't know these other bikers, and they're great friends. Today, everybody I've met has been so genuine. Well, as I was riding it, I was the only one doing all 10, and others were, had helped out for a few days or here and there. And they were all asking me, you're going to do this again, right? I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I was just kind of getting it done this year, but they were so adamant, like, no, this has got to be an annual event. You've got to do it.
So when you started, you never thought it was going to turn into what it did?
Yeah, I wasn't sure. The following year, we had professional riders come all the way from Germany. Yeah, they had seen it online. I mean, it is such an unbelievable biking adventure that it's gotten attention around the world. We had a lady come from Hawaii last year. She wanted to be the first lady, Carrie. She wanted to be the first lady to do all 10 in a row. And she couldn't make it during August. She had to go back to Hawaii, so she did it a little earlier in July, and I went up there and rode with her for some of the days. So the attention is definitely, around the world. I mean, a lot of people are hearing about it. And it's because it's so unique. It's such a long distance if you do the whole thing. It's basically like going from here to Disney World in Florida. But you loop right back to where you started. And the UP is only 50 miles wide at most of the spots. So logistically, you can route people around. You can get people to do 2 or 3 days. You can get them back to your car. I mean, you can't do that on a 1,200-mile ride usually, but the UP is just perfectly situated geographically that you can do something that's phenomenal and get it done safely and have everybody have a great time and get back to their car.
So with some of us, we're looking at this and we're watching the videos, and I will say I think you're a little crazy. But what has been what do some of the riders get out of this, especially the first timers?
So I think everybody is taken by the beauty of the Upper Peninsula. And, you know, we know the Upper Peninsula for all its waterfalls and its forest and the lakes. And, you know, by the time you're riding around, you've jumped in Lake Michigan, you've jumped in Lake Superior, you've jumped in Lake Huron, you've rode along the St. Mary's River. So you've gone through every community. You literally have ridden your bike through every town in the Upper Peninsula, basically. You know, you've gone through 80–90% of the population of the Upper Peninsula. So you've seen more of the UP by riding this route than most people, even people that live in the UP. And I grew up in Manistee, but when I put this route together, I didn't know every road in the UP. I know all the roads now, you know, but at the time I didn't. So I saw areas of the Upper Peninsula that I had never seen before. So that's the thing, the obvious thing that we all get out of it. The not so obvious thing that is a continuous surprise and a real joy are all the people that we meet. The interactions we have with the people that live in the Upper Peninsula and the people that are biking this those are the things that blow your mind. And I have made more wonderful, I hope, lifelong friends with people that I've met biking with them or met in the Upper Peninsula that I talk to all the time now, as if I've known them for 20 years. So it's that human interaction which blows everybody away. Everybody comments on something, somebody they met that really just blew them away.
I love that because it really is a close-knit group, the biking community. So I've been lucky enough to go to the Tour de France in France, in the south of France. And, you know, my husband's dream is to win the lotto so he can follow it for the full 3 weeks. Not actually bike it, but there's a lot of logistics that go into, like, at the starting point and then getting to the next city before the bikers and this, that, and the other. But it really is amazing, the biking community. But I feel like in the European countries, it is so much more popular than what we have here in the United States, because it is not unusual in the south of France to see people, groups of, you know, cycling clubs, biking the back roads. The nature is beautiful. Do you think that this is going to start to catch on? That this is going to get bigger as the years go on?
The event itself will, for sure. There's no doubt about that. Just the interest that we get around the whole country and around the world. But biking in general absolutely is going to continue to get more popular. And with that, you know, we need to continue to learn how to keep it safe for people. So a lot of the stuff that I do throughout the year now, Kim Mellon, she organizes, she does the logistics. I wouldn't be able to. A lot of the work I do is dealing with the routes and the road commissions and the communities and MDOT and the DNR, and constant communication with people throughout Michigan about how do we keep biking safe for people. You know, what else can we do that's simple that can help save lives or save accidents and keep people safe and having a good time. So, but biking popularity is definitely growing. That's not going to change. So I think that we'll see more bikers in the Lower Peninsula, but in the Upper Peninsula as well. I think that we're just going to continue to see bikers. Every time you take a trip up there, I'm sure you'll see more and more people on their bike as well.
James Studinger with us here on the MegaCast. He is the founder for Tour Da Yoop in the Upper Peninsula. Are you a little bit concerned that it's going to become so popular that everyone is going to want to go to the UP now?
You know, the UP has been getting a tremendous amount of traffic, like Pictured Rocks, for example. But Pictured Rocks, the town of Munising itself, some people will tell you they love it, that they have all of this attention. And some people in the town would say that it's a little bit too much. The unique thing about biking is any town that wants to embrace biking can embrace it. It's not, the pictured rocks are where they are. You can't move them.
Right.
That's going to benefit Munising, and that's about, and that's about it. But any town, there's a lot of towns in the Upper Peninsula that would like to have more tourism that don't have that natural attraction to bring them in. And so biking is a way to level the playing field, make it equal for every community in the Upper Peninsula. If they want to embrace biking like Lance, the people in Lance have done a tremendous job, or the Sioux. The Sioux has a slogan called Bike Friendly Sioux. So any community that really wants to embrace it, this is their opportunity to get involved with a quiet sport and attract people to their area.
So, James, how can people find out more information if they want to, join your crazy 10-day adventure, which is going to be happening in August, or if they just want to try to do the 10-year challenge, which might be more my speed? How can they find out more?
TourDaYoop.com. And Tour Da Yoop Eh, I came up with that name, and basically it's invitation. Come bike around the UP with me, okay? But TourDaYoop.com is the main event website. Call of the Yooper is a little website that I've managed for quite a long time, and I get people emailing me on Call of the Yooper weekly throughout the country asking, where should I go to bike in the UP? What should I look for? What should I do? So I always welcome people to visit that page as well and learn more about what the UP has to offer.
So I will say, when I saw this morning, I was like, this is my husband's opportunity to not get a yellow jersey, which obviously, Tour de France. So he is a sports reporter who covers the Tour every single year. So when we would go to the south of France, we would try to visit it if our schedules aligned, for him to be able to see at least one or two legs. But biking is an event, and it's all about the yellow jersey. And so we got one when we were over there. I think he needs a plaid jersey. Like, that's something you can actually get.
Yes.
Well, we're going to try to hook him up, but it might take 10 years, though.
All right.
James,
We hope to meet him someday, and if you guys want to come join us for a day, we'd love to see you down there, or maybe we'll catch you on a ride in Detroit one day.